Yo, it's Brian here. Today, gonna be talking about the San Francisco 49ers. As always, not doing a top 3 video. This time, talking about almost every position coming into training camp. It is happening this weekend, so I'm gonna be previewing every position for the 49ers, whether it's quarterback, running back, defensive lineman, defensive backs, all that cool stuff. Going to be going over some certain battles that you'd be looking forward to. I kind of did a video like this a while back, so if you want to check it out, I'll probably have a link in the description, link in the card section if you do want to check it out. But yeah, just going to be going over training camp, seeing what's interesting going on, and looking at players, all that cool stuff, health issues, and what have you. So yeah, hope you guys do stay tuned to this. This is going to be a long video, I would say, for this entire video. No closed captioning for this. If it's usually like a 10-minute or more video, I usually don't do closed captioning because that would take a long time. So yeah, if you're looking for that, I don't have it for this video, but usually if you look at my past videos, if it's like under 10 minutes, then I would definitely have closed captioning for you guys because it is very time consuming and I love to do it for every single video. But if it's a very long video, that is going to take a long time. So yeah, apologize for that, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, gonna be talking about this, talking about training camp. Hope you guys are excited for this. I'm definitely excited. I want to see all the players come back healthy for the most part. Some players are still gimpy from other times from the past, so hopefully they get healthy by the start of week 1. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, gonna be talking about that. But before I do, please like and subscribe to support my channel. That would definitely help me out a lot. Click that bell notification. You get notified of future videos. Share this channel. Share this video with fellow Niner faithfuls. Let's just get this video started. Looking at training camp positions preview for 2019. All right, let's talk about the offensive side of the ball first. First up, quarterback position, pretty obvious. You got Jimmy Garoppolo, C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins, and you also got Wilson Spaeth. I can't really say names. You guys know that right now if you've been watching my videos for the past couple of years. I'm not really good with names, so I apologize. But yeah, we have 4 quarterbacks coming into training camp. Pretty much, I think the Niners, to be honest with you, they're going to keep about 3. I want them to keep only 2, to be honest, just with Garoppolo and Mullins, but I don't know if Shanahan and company can trust both of them to be healthy and what have you, so they'll probably include CJ Beathard. But for me personally, I would put Garoppolo number 1, Mullins number 2, and if they want to keep Beathard, I'll put him at number 3, and that's the ordering right there. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can agree with me on that, just because of last year. We all know what Mullins is capable of, and we all know what CJ Beathard is not, which is, I guess, a guy not being able to close games, just pretty iffy, pretty yucky on the offense. I don't know. It just didn't really work out. I wish it did. I was a big fan of his when he took over for Brian Hoyer a couple years ago, but after last year not winning any games and Mullins being able to win a couple of games, including beating the Seahawks, I got to give the edge to Mullins. And yeah, there you have it right there. Wilson, I don't know if he's going to... Wilton, I don't know if he's going to make the team or not, but he's there. Maybe just a camp arm, but we'll see what happens. Although he's 6'6", which is pretty ridiculous right there. So yeah, those guys, that's my quarterback position right here. Next up, running back position. A lot of these might be kind of quick just because of the fact that I talked about these in previous videos. So, if you want to check it out my Start Cuts Bench series. I think the only one I did not do was the offensive line, which I will probably talk about in a second. But anyways, going back to the running back position, you got Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman, Jerry McKinnon, Raheem Mostert, Austin Walker, and Jeff Wilson. Those are the running backs on this list. 4 guys, definitely I would pick Breida, Coleman, McKinnon, and Mostert. Kyle Juszczyk is our fullback, so he'll be on this team definitely. Those 4 guys, that's no question about it, but the biggest question coming into training camp and what they're going to be battling for is who's going to be the number 1 guy within the running back by committee, because that will be the system that I'm pretty sure Bobby Turner and Kyle Shanahan is going to be running. But the question is, who is going to be the guy getting most of the carries? A lot of people are saying Tevin Coleman. A lot of people are saying Matt Breida, maybe McKinnon to see what he can do, but I don't think he's fully healed from his ACL surgery, so this is a blessing in disguise for Coleman, I would say. And I would not be mad at all if Coleman is number 1 running back for the 49ers, although I love to give Breida a chance because he did fantastic last year. We all know what he's capable of, and to see him lose his number 1 spot, that would be kind of unfortunate in my opinion. So I love to see what they can do. Maybe they could be 1A and 1B. That would probably be my compromise, is whoever's 1A and 1B. That'd be good right there. And McKinnon, this is very complicated just because he signed a big contract, and we don't know what Lynch and Shanahan are going to be doing with him. And the fact that they signed up a big contract, but is he going to be number 1 back because they paid him a lot of money? And Breida and Coleman, they weren't super expensive. Coleman was a 2-year, $10 million deal, and Breida, I think, still on his rookie contract, undrafted free agent. And McKinnon got a 5-year, $45 million deal. So that's pretty expensive right there. We'll see what happens. But for me personally, if I had to pick people, I would probably pick Breida and Coleman 1A, McKinnon number 2, Mostert number 3. He can play special teams as well. He's pretty darn good at it. And yeah, there you have it right there. And Juszczyk, he can be the fullback for the 49ers. That's my list for the running back position. Just going through these pretty quickly. Wide receivers, what to think about them, I pretty much made my case for a lot of the guys already, like Marquise Goodwin, Jalen Hurd, very versatile guy. A lot of people are talking about he could be running back and a tight end. He did play running back in college for the first year or two, I think in Tennessee. And tight end, he's just a big dude, so he might be a little backup to that. But I think primarily they're going to be using him as a big man receiver. I think that's great. Richie James, Jordan Matthews, Max McCaffrey, Dante Pettis. Pretty interesting. The one I'm interested about is Richie James and Trent Taylor. I mentioned this in many videos, talk about wide receivers, which one's going to take the spot. I personally want to keep both, but I think if push comes to shove by the 53-man roster deadline, they're going to have to pick one of them. And for me personally, I would like to pick Richie James just because I think he has a lot of upside within the receiver position, although he hasn't been proven that much in terms of being a wide receiver. But special teams, he is very dynamic, and I believe that's a really good thing for him. Taylor, he had a lot of rapport with Garoppolo, but the issue with him is injuries. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know he was just injured one time last year, but man, you know the history of this team. I don't want to be banking on injured players and what have you to do well for the 49ers because, as Bill Parcells says, best ability is availability, and if you're not available to play, then pretty much useless, to be honest with you. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not available to play, then what's the point? So yeah, I'm not saying Taylor is injury prone, but you never know, so it is what it is. Jordan Matthews, he's a pretty interesting case. I did not put him on my roster 53-man team when I did the wide receiver video, but it's pretty interesting, I would say. He's Jerry Rice's cousin. That's probably the first time I mentioned that. A lot of you guys mentioned that in my comment section talking about that. It is what it is. It doesn't really mean anything to me because, hey, a couple of years ago when Nate Montana was trying out for the 49ers under Jim Harbaugh, he never got a contract. And I know it's kind of different, what have you. Jordan Matthews is a proven player, but still, family ties, that doesn't really make a difference in my opinion. The biggest thing is, can he play for the 49ers? Can he play for the 49ers? I apologize for that. But yeah, Matthews, he probably could play. The only issue with him is dropping balls when he was in Philadelphia. If he can just stay consistent, then that'd be fantastic. So, Matthews, I would not be opposed to him being on this team. Who else? Goodwin, I can't wait to see what he does when he comes back with Jimmy Garoppolo. I hope they can find something together. Dante Pettis, he's interesting as well because of the fact they had rapport in 2018 when they were playing the Vikings, Lions, and part of the Chiefs game, but then Garoppolo tore his ACL, so we never got to see the chemistry going with them. But I'm pretty sure Kyle Shanahan, Wes Welker, and Garoppolo, they're going to be targeting Pettis a lot in training camp, and he might end up being the number one receiver for the 49ers coming into this season. We'll see the depth chart coming out when training camp officially starts, I think on Friday or Saturday. I don't know what day exactly they're going to release the depth chart, but Pettis is going to be pretty up there in terms of that. So that's interesting. I can't wait to see what he does. I'm a big fan of his. A lot of you guys are a big fan of his as well. So there's a lot of intrigue in the wide receiver position. I think that's a very interesting battle for who's going to be the top guy for Jimmy Garoppolo and who they're going to keep within it, but before the 53-man roster. So receiver, we'll see what happens, but I'm excited to see what they can do. Tight end position, as we all know, George Kittle. Oh my gosh, I can't really talk about him too much because I can spend like 30 minutes just talking about this guy in terms of his play, maybe do some film. I wish I could show some film, but NFL copyright. But you all know who Kittle is. You know what he's about. He's great. Other people under him, that's kind of a question mark, to be honest with you. The only other guy that I can keep is pretty much Caden Smith. He has a lot of upside. He was drafted this year. Garrett Selleck, he has a lot of issues going on with him. Nothing off the field, just talking about his health. Last year of his contract, so he might be done in San Francisco, which I would not be surprised at all if the Niners do cut him by the start of week 1, although the good reason to keep him is the veteran presence and what have you. But other than that, I mean, if you can't get on the field that much, if you're coming off of back surgery and this is your last year of your contract, you're going to be gone anyways unless they give you a contract extension, which I don't believe they're going to be doing. So Selleck, I think he's going to be out, unfortunately, and it sucks to say that, but love him as a tight end. It is what it is. It's a business. I can't really say anything else. The guy that I would like to keep is Tola Lolo. I talked about him a while back in my tight ends video, I think a week or two ago. He's from the Detroit Lions and Atlanta Falcons, so he does know Kyle Shanahan a little bit. He was more of a blocking tight end when he was under Shanahan in Atlanta. We'll see what he does with him. Is he going to be a pass catcher? We'll see that. Or is he just going to be a pure pass blocker, which that wouldn't be bad at all just because we have a lot of pass catching guys anyways. I mean, you got Kittle, you got Caden Smith potentially, the wide receivers. You could probably put Jalen Hurd in the tight end spot because he's a big dude. So, I mean, there's a lot of options right there. He doesn't have to be a pure pass catcher. We already have that in Kittle. So, if he could be a good blocker, that'd be fantastic. And we could boost the offensive line sometimes when we want to use a tight end as a blocker. All right, so tight end positions out of the way. Offensive line, a lot to digest right here. What to go with? Well, first, I want to talk about Josh Garnett. I talked about him needing training camp to be on the 53-man roster, which I don't believe he's going to be on this team after this year. I mean, I can't really say anything else. He's been a big disappointment in San Francisco. Just a lot of ins and outs with him, ups and downs, a lot of more downs than ups. But Garnett, it is what it is. But the offensive line, I'm a big fan of personally. The run blocking, as we all know, it's one of the top in the NFL. I think they were ranked 4th in the whole league behind like the Rams and other teams, maybe the Saints and what have you. But I think the 49ers, they're going to be consistent with that. The pass blocking coming into training camp, that's what they need to work on, which I think they will do a good job for the most part. I mean, when you have the chemistry together during mini camp and OTAs, when you can work together a little bit, I think they'll be working together during the offseason, beforehand, and training camp. They can get it all together. Preseason, they have time to get a little bit of snaps, a little bit of plays together before the regular season. So I believe the pass protection would be even better than it was in 2018. They were just getting to know each other. Weston Richburg just came to the team. So I kind of understand why they struggled a little bit in that department. But I think with the full season together, chemistry going, I think it's going to be fantastic for 2019 this year. So, really offensively, they look loaded. If everyone can stay healthy, that's all they have to do is stay healthy. Then this is going to be a very potent offense. They could be top 10, maybe top 5 if Garoppolo is on top of his games, if he limits the turnovers, if he doesn't take too many risks. There's nothing wrong with taking risks. I love people who take risks, but you can't be taking too many risks like Brett Favre. Sometimes they hits, sometimes you get misses. And Garoppolo, I think he's going to do a much better job on taking care of his body. He's not going to do any weird stuff, like he did before the Chiefs game. So, I think this offense is potentially great, have a lot of talent, have a lot of upside, but can they stay consistent and healthy? Those are the two big questions coming in to training camp, and hopefully they can work on that together. Hopefully they can get the chemistry together. If they can, then it's all going to work out. I'm excited for the offense. That's pretty much it. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball now. All right, defensive side of the ball. This one is where I'm more excited for this whole roster period during training camp. I think they have a lot of upside, even more than the offense, to be honest with you, just because of the fact they made a lot of investments during free agency and the draft. They did make some moves during free agency and the draft for the offensive side of the ball, but mostly defensively, they made a lot of money. They paid a lot of money, and the draft picks, they did spend a very high pick on a certain somebody, number 2 overall, which I will be talking about in a second. So, yeah, going to get to it right now. Defensive lineman, very interesting for the most part. Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, or Eric Armstead, whoever wants to be on the inside with him. DeForest Buckner and D Ford, that's going to be the starting lineup in my mind coming into training camp whenever the depth chart comes out. One guy, Nick Bosa, he still hasn't signed a contract yet with the 49ers. That is very concerning in my opinion, because is he going to be coming in for training camp? Is he going to get signed last minute like Solomon Thomas a couple years ago? So we'll see what happens, but hopefully he doesn't hold out like crazy like Joey did a couple of years ago. Hopefully everything gets worked out. Offset language, I'm pretty sure that's the biggest issue right now. Lynch should be knowing this by now, that if his brother's going to do it, then he's going to do it as well this year. So I expect something to get done by the start of training camp. If not, then I would be disappointed, to be honest with you. And Lynch, I think he'll take a little bit of heat, to be honest with you, for not getting this done beforehand, because he is very warned about this from past history, and if he doesn't get it done, then that would be disappointing. So hopefully something gets done. What else about the defensive line? I can't wait to see what D Ford can do. I think that's a very interesting guy to look for in this training camp period. We want to see the versatility of him. He can play outside linebacker, to be honest with you. He can play defensive end. That's probably the position he's going to be playing mostly. I'm pretty sure everyone talks about him being the Leo guy in the defensive line, so they're going to be shifting around into multiple positions. But yeah, forward, he's going to be the important guy in this defense. We paid him a lot of money, so we expect investment in return coming into this 2019 season. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But defensive line, I think it looks fantastic. Even the depth looks amazing. You got Ronald Blair, Kentavious Street making his debut this year. Who else? Sheldon Day. Just a lot of players on this defensive line, you can rely on both starters and the bench, and I think this is going to be the best year that we've had for this whole D-line in a couple of years since the Jim Harbaugh, Vic Fangio days. I can't wait to see what DeForest Buckner does. He is going to be amazing for this Niners squad. I mean, he's been amazing for the past couple of years, but with him having more help, he won't be getting double teamed as much on the inside. He'll be able to get to the quarterback straight up. He'll be able to stop the run, and that's what we're looking for. So, yeah, defensive line, great potential. One of the, ranked right now top 10 in predictions right now as a top defensive line in the NFL, and I believe they could be that, or even top 5 in terms of getting quarterbacks, getting sacks, getting pressures, and what have you, leading into takeaways. I think they're going to be fantastic for 2018, 2019, or I should say 2019, I apologize. All right, so next up, linebacker. What to think about the linebacker position? You got Quan Alexander, Fred Warner, although Alexander, I don't know if he's going to be healed completely by Week 1 against his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hopefully he is, but we'll see what happens. Fred Warner, he's a freaking beast. I don't know what else to say about him. What else? Navarro Bowman, he retired as a 49er. I'm looking at this on CBS.com. He signed a contract with the Niners to retire officially. It'd be nice for him to play for the Niners, but, unfortunately it didn't work out when Shanahan and Lynch just came into the Niners in 2017, and they ended up cutting him middle of the season. That was unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. You got great players like Elijah Lee, David Mayo, he's more of a special teamer. Mark Minoja, he's not too bad either. He's shown a lot of promise. So this linebacking core, it looks pretty good. I think it's more top heavy, to be honest with you. I want to see what the bench can do. Also, Dre Greenlaw is on this team. He's coming from the NFL draft this year. So, I'm not really worried on the top part of the starter position for the linebackers, but I'm a little bit more concerned on the bench side. So we'll see what happens. But linebacking crew, I think it's going to look really good for the Niners. Everything's going to be looking in sync with them in the defensive line. And speaking of that, going to the defensive backs, this is where everything gets all cookie, all interesting. We all know Richard Sherman's the best defensive back, hands down, the most experienced, just most talented guy on this whole defensive back squad. Won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks a couple of years ago. So, we're going to be relying on him a lot in San Francisco this year, 2019, especially because he's the top guy and he's pretty much healed up from his Achilles injury, I would think, for his whole season. A lot of people are calling him overrated, but I think he's perfectly rated. He's one of the top quarterbacks still, in my opinion, in 2019, and him being fully healthy, I think he's going to show that. I think he's going to show why he's the best cornerback in the NFL. So we'll see what happens. But the other side of him, that's going to be a big, interesting mark. Is it going to be Jason Verrett? Is it going to be Ahkello Witherspoon? For me personally, I would love to start Jason Verrett just because he's a veteran quarterback. He's proven to be an all-pro cornerback. But the problem is he's coming off an Achilles injury. Is he going to be ready by week 1? So I think by the training camp depth chart, when it comes out this week, Ahkello Witherspoon might be the number 1 guy opposite the Sherman, so it's like last year, but hopefully Witherspoon doesn't get burned or anything like that, anything crazy. Gosh, it was not a good year for him. But yeah, Witherspoon, Sherman, I expect him to be number 1 right now in training camp, but we'll see how Verrett is rehabbing and what have you. I don't know if he's completely rehabbed yet. I don't know if he's going to be completely ready for week 1, but if he is, I can't wait to see what he does. So those 2 guys, they're going to be the top cornerbacks. Defensive backs, what to put? Who did I put in my safety video? I put Tavarius Moore and Marcel Harris on the free and the strong side, respectively. Moore, he has a lot of promise on the safety spot. He played mostly cornerback last year. He had mixed results right there, but I think he's going back to his natural position at free safety. That'd be very interesting. Marcel Harris, he's a hard hitter, a little bit on the weak side for the tackling department, but other than that, a lot of raw talent, a lot of promise. He did a fantastic job for the 49ers last year in 2018, coming in very late. Jimmy Ward, not the biggest fan of his, but he's coming from a collarbone injury, so I don't think he's going to be immediately playing in training camp. We'll see what happens, but he is there, so I got to mention that right there. So, yeah, pretty much, defensively as a whole, I'm more excited to see that more than the offense, although I talked about the offense more in this video than I did on the defensive side of the ball. But I just think with the veterans that they got in free agency, with the upside of Nick Bosa and company, this defense can be very havoc, can wreak craziness to other offenses, and they could potentially be top 10, maybe top 5 in defense. Well, maybe top 10, top 15. I'm more optimistic on the offensive side of the ball just because they've been a little bit more proven with Garoppolo, but hopefully with all the acquisitions that they made, the chemistry can get in right immediately, and they can be great for 2019. That's pretty much it, you guys. Just previewing almost every position for the 49ers coming into this training camp period. Special teams, you got Robbie Gould, Mitch Wishnowsky. I can't wait to see what Wishnowsky could do. I think he's going to be an Andy Lee type player like he was a couple of years ago in San Francisco in the Harbaugh era. Robbie Gould, he finally signed that contract. That's also good as well. So pretty much, I think everything is ready. Just stay healthy. Nobody gets hurt in training camp and preseason. We'll be fine. That's pretty much it, you guys. Please let me know what you guys have for training camp period. Any previews, anything special going on for them? Do you have anything to say? Please, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe to support my channel. That would definitely help me a lot. I'll be catching you guys up tomorrow on a Wednesday. No, I lied. I'll be catching you guys up on Thursday for news. I'll see y'all then. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your day. See y'all Thursday. Bye-bye.